very much, and you do ask the perfect question. And so I'd like to start this afternoon, first of all, by thanking everyone who's here in this room. We're among friends, so I think we can be blunt. We need to be blunt. But I also want to thank PFI for actually organizing this event, bringing everyone together, UNDP and other organizations that have been part of the process. I see Ibu Erna right there in front. You are a long-term friend of Ford Foundation, and I've known you for a long time myself. And I want to give a shout out to Pak Hamid. Merak is quite a good organization here in Indonesia that studies philanthropy and provides good advice. And so, and Hulse, I met you in your office a couple of years ago in Beijing. So, I mean, we really are among friends. And because of that, I want to make 3 points today. And I will name them now so you can jot them down quickly, and then we can talk more later. And I guess, getting to your question, the first point really is that philanthropy is not very well understood by the general public, even by ourselves. And that is an issue that comes up again and again, and perhaps there is no one answer what philanthropy is, but we need to continue asking the question. Second, philanthropy really doesn't do a very good job of coordinating, of working with others, and so I think that's something that we need to be honest about and address that. And then the third point is that actually the SDGs offer us a very clear and good path forward. And what's nice about the SDGs is because it is an organizing principle, but we don't have to work with each other in order to focus on those goals. So it offers kind of like a reality check for all of us. So as we think about philanthropy, why do we do what we do? A lot of people ask us that, and there's always in sort of the secondary question about, what are you guys getting out of this? You know, clearly you don't do this just because you feel good about it. There has to be some reason behind it. And that is why these types of fora, and I think the understanding that we need to come together with these associations. You have the Association of the Philippines, we have China, the Center for Foundations, and here, of course, we have Philanthropy Indonesia. We really need to continue to study this field of philanthropy and to professionalize it and to work with each other and recognize that we are kind of an unruly lot at times, that we come together with very different ideas and very different compositions and very different agendas, but we do need to try to understand and organize ourselves. Second, when we're thinking about this collaboration, you know, there are a lot of different ways that philanthropies are working, and the term I always kind of love is vanity philanthropy.
Vanity?
Vanity philanthropy. Okay. A lot of philanthropies clearly are in it because they want to build a building and they want to put their name on it. And that's fine. But I think we also need to understand that when we do put our name on something, or if we feel a little vain when we do that, at least what we need to do with that is to attach some message and to have people understand what it is that is helping society, is helping the country, is helping social justice because of that work. And then finally, we come to the SDGs. Now, a lot of people have said there are too many. There are way too many indicators. But that's what's beautiful about the SDGs. There are 16 issue areas. And when you look at those 16 areas, you can easily choose which one fits. And then significantly, there is a 17th SDG, and that is understanding that you need to coordinate. And you need to have the power to implement and coordinate the other 16. And that is also an important organizing principle for those of us in philanthropy to think about. So even if you don't want to coordinate with each other, the SDGs give you an easy way to do it. And the SDGs were developed in a very lengthy, some would say painful, process of consultations, Even here in Indonesia, there were many different meetings that were held at various venues around the country. Ford Foundation, PFI put a lot of time and effort into making sure that some very important voices were around those tables, including youth and women and some people from marginalized groups, so that their voice was heard. And then the process all came together through a lot of negotiation and was announced in New York at the General Assembly last year. And because of that process, we have a long-term goal to 2030 to know where we need to focus our efforts. And so, once again, even if you don't want to coordinate with others, you look at this list of 17 and say, well, the thing we're doing fits number 5. Or the thing that we're doing is a coordination between one SDG and another. And just by starting within the philanthropic sector to understand where your small bit, where your small contribution can fit, and how it builds into a larger overall picture, I think is a very small and first important step for us to take. And so I think whenever we're coming together as philanthropists, it's easy to think large, but perhaps it is better for us to think small and to think focused, and that's where we can make our impact. Over the past several years, Ford Foundation has been working with UNDP and Rockefeller Philanthropy Associates and several other organizations to really promote this idea of how SDGs are something that philanthropy should embrace. And it was a very interesting pilot project that was initiated with meetings held in Kenya, Colombia, Ghana, and then here in Indonesia. Some of you might have been at that meeting, which was held in April a year ago at Hotel Borobudur. And as that process is moving forward, we're very happy to see that Egypt and India are 2 new countries that are wanting to come on board, 2 very important countries that can join the 4 that have already recognized the linkages between philanthropy and the SDGs. So all of you who did raise your hand and said you're giving grants, please think hard about SDGs, and rather than saying they're too broad, choose the 1 or 2 that are important to you, and know that as you monitor your work as it's coordinated, Bappenas is the coordinating ministry here in Indonesia that is tracking all of this, and Smeru, which is a very good think tank, is helping Bappenas to develop the indicators for that process. Know that you can contribute and that your contribution will not be a random activity, but in fact will add to something in the broader whole. So that's the message I want to leave with you. I don't know if that's an aha, but I hope that you can take it as me both criticizing Ford Foundation myself, as well as criticizing the sector as a whole by saying, let's get together, let's be disciplined, let's work together, and let's make sure that our efforts can be tracked and can be part of a larger whole that will support everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.